Hey everybody, it's me, Tracy Thomas, host of The Stacks, and this is another episode of The Stacks Unabridged, our exclusive Patreon and Substack monthly bonus episode. Today is one of everyone's favorite annual traditions. I am joined by Cree, Myles, and Sara Hildreth, two of my absolute favorite readers, to share our most anticipated books of 2026 from the start of the year through June. If you are listening to this episode and it cuts off after about 10 to 15 minutes, that means you are not a paid subscriber to the Substack or the Patreon. And if you want to listen to the rest of the episode, you've got to subscribe on a paid tier. In addition to getting this episode today, you will also get access to all of the backlist episodes. And depending on if you join the Patreon on the Substack, you will get different perks. I like to think of it like this. Patreon is more of a place around community. So we do our monthly virtual book club meetups. We have a very active Discord channel that is going all hours of day and night. Then on the Substack side, you're going to get more of my takes. It's more of me writing pop culture, book reviews, hot takes, things I love, things I hate. Both places do get access to my annual nonfiction reading guide. They get to vote in the stackies. So it's a combination, but pick the place that feels right for you. You can do that by going to patreon.com/thestacks to join the Stacks Pack, or subscribe to the newsletter by going to tracythomas.substack.com. Okay, that's enough. Now it is time for the most anticipated books of 2026 with Sara Hildreth and Cree, Myles. All right, everybody. I have completely lost control of my own podcast because all of you listening at home, Patreon and Substack subscribers, you won't get off my back about when is this episode coming. I want to remind you, I make the show, okay? This is my podcast. And the episode is on time, where it's always supposed to be the second to last Friday of January. We are doing our most anticipated books of 2026, part 1, featuring good friends of the pod, Cree, Myles, and Sara Hildreth. Ladies, welcome back.
Woo!
So
Yay.
excited.
I'm so excited. My people are just, they're so bossy to me. I'm like, listen, I invented bossy. You don't tell me what episodes you want. I tell you what episodes I want to give you. And I want to give you this episode. It's the best thing we do every year. And it's one of the first things we do. And then it's just really, truly downhill until June when you guys come back and we reset.
Lies. Those are lies.
Yeah, that's not true.
People who don't know, I'm going to give you the quick rundown. Cree is the curator of Penguin Random House is Always Black. She's an online book person. She got her own shit. Now she does rap music. I don't know if you've ever heard of rap music.
I've always been a rapper.
You've always been a rapper, but now you're doing the rap music analysis aggressively on the social. So maybe you know Cree from the rap. Maybe you know Cree from the books. Maybe you know Cree from both. Maybe you know Cree from her organizer days, pre all of this, back when she was Black Emily Dickinson.
True. Yes. I love, that was a very comprehensive introduction. You guys, I'm the personality hire on this episode for
Always.
sure. But really looking forward to Sara and Tracy's list.
Wait, I thought I was the personality hire.
No, I realized as I was putting this list together, I was like, am I pressed about these 2026 releases? I'm trying to read some backlist.
No.
So I have a few for each month, but mostly I'm going to get inspiration from you guys.
Okay, great. And then my other guest is Sara Hildreth. She is the reader behind Fiction Matters, which is her Instagram and her Substack. She is by far the smartest person in this group, for sure, hands down. It's like not even close. She's a former English teacher, current English teacher to the internet. And well, I'm going to let you guys talk about what you're both working on now, but I guess, do you consider the new podcast endeavor, Sara, to be part of Fiction Matters, or do you consider that its own separate thing?
I consider it to be part of Fiction Matters.
Okay.
In large part,
it's called Books That Matter.
Yes, it's called Books That Matter, and I'm not doing it on any sort of regular schedule.
Okay.
Which is why I'm not considering its own podcast endeavor. Like, it's not weekly. It's barely even bi-weekly. It's like when I feel like talking to an author that I like.
Amen.
Which is not often, I usually, unfortunately got pigeon-soled myself into talking authors, but I don't always like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Okay, before we get to 2026, let's quickly, what did we make of 2025 as a year in books? Any things that we thought were great? Any things that we thought we hope do not carry over into 2026? What's the takeaway?
I mean, I think folks have already said this. You talked about this on your Best Books of the Year episode, Tracy, but 2025 felt like an anomaly where the pendulum swung? I don't know. English
I like
teachers
swang.
don't know. Okay.
Swang sounds like inappropriate.
All language is made up.
There we go. The pendulum has shifted to the other side, where in 2024, we had so much consensus around what the best books were. And then in 2025, it felt like we had no consensus. I think both years are anomalies. And so I'm wondering if we'll reach some sort of equilibrium in 2026. But I think that was like the big talking point of 2025, that there wasn't a book that was like critically beloved, up for prize lists, and read by your aunt who you saw at Thanksgiving. Like that, there just wasn't a lot of crossover there. I think there were still some really good books, but I think that just made for a little bit of an unsettling year in reading.
I agree with that. I feel like because I was always like searching for the book in 2025, I think I read a lot of things and wasn't like totally 100% wowed by them. I was like, oh, that wasn't good. But if they had shown up in a different year when I was sort of like more like, I was like, oh, okay, James is the book of the year. I can just read these other things and enjoy myself. I think I might have liked things more. And like maybe in retrospect, I'll be like, that book actually was pretty good. Though I still stand with, I think that 2025 was sort of a dud of a year, but.
I mean, we were talking about Rob Franklin before you went live. I loved that debut. I loved Black Minor Figures by Brandon.
Yes, me too.
It.
It was one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah. And then, I mean, really my favorite book of the year that I read was Linden Hills by Gloria Naylor. So, I don't know. I saw a book talk where it was like, stop with the trends, just find an obscure ass book that you can fall in love with and tell everybody about. So that's what I am. You guys put down James. Okay. Go find something that we've never heard of.
Wow. A challenge. I do want to say, I went back and listened to the beginning of last year's episode, and Sara, I do sort of blame you. And a little bit I blame myself for 2025, because what you said you wanted in 2025.
I cursed us. I remember.
You did. You said you didn't want consensus. You wanted more parody. You wanted to discover my book of the year.
Love that.
Well, I love it in theory until it meant last year was the most chaotic year where every book that was on every list, I was like, I've never heard of this book. That was what was crazy to me at the end of last year when all the lists came out. And I was like, I read 70 books that came out in 2025. And like, it would be like 100 best books of the year. And I would be like, I read 7 of those. Like, I'm just, what happened? Like, it was like sort of a mind fuck of a year. Yes. There were so many books that I was like, I've never heard of this. Like, how is this the best book of the year? But it's only showing up on this like one list. Right. And then like, it was just so, anyways, so Sara, your fault.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean by it was unsettling. Like I ended up, when I'm looking at the books that I read, I feel like I read some really good books. But I agree that especially as all of the lists were coming out, I was like, do I have taste anymore? Or like, do I have awareness of even what is publishing? Because I felt so surprised by a lot of the lists. But I do think I still would prefer that to, oh, yes, my number one book is everybody else's number one book.
Right.
So, but I'm hoping I'm hoping for a little bit more equilibrium this year where I don't feel blindsided by the lists.
Yeah.
But that there's still a room for, I don't know, more personal discovery in the books.
Yeah. I like a year where there's some darlings and then there's also some randos.
Perfectly said.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Golden Globes? Do you guys care about movies like that? Okay, so I live in LA. So it's like something you have to do. But I haven't seen a lot of the movies this year. And what I loved about the Golden Globes this year is it was like every category, there was like someone nominated from Sinners and someone nominated for One Battle After Another. But in almost like all the categories, those people never won. And that's sort of what I want is like, I want the National Book Award list to have like 5 books by just like amazing old standard, like everybody agrees, like this Tayari Jones has got to be on the list. But that like the person who wins is like, you know, the Rose Byrne of whatever. No shade to Rose Byrne, but it's like nobody thought Rose Byrne was going to like win an award. And I should say nobody, I just mean me because I didn't even know she was in a movie this year. And again, I've not seen very many movies this year. So this is really a me thing, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you will change your approach to reading in 2026 based off of your experience in 2025, Sara? Cree, I know your approach is backlist.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. If you want more of this episode of The Stacks Unabridged, you must join The Stacks Pack on Patreon by going to patreon.com/thestacks or subscribe to my newsletter Unstack at tracythomas.substack.com. And remember, by joining either of those places, you make it possible for me to make The Stacks every single week free to all. Thank you so much for your support, and we will see you in The Stacks.